Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me again for Women's Wednesday. I am excited about my next guest. I met her at Moore. Didn't really realize how much of a badass she was until I really got to talk to her. So please join me in welcoming Robin. Hi, Robin. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Of course. Thanks for inviting me.
You are very welcome. So you told me just a little bit ago this is your first podcast.
It is my first podcast.
Or a radio show, or that's exciting. Thank you so much for, being a guinea pig with me.
Exactly. Thank you. Thanks for taking me on.
Of course. You dealt with my daughter a lot at Moore. So, kudos to you for the Hershey Kisses and the little spinning wheel. That was like epic for her.
Yeah, she was awesome. She was our number one visitor.
You had chocolate, so of course you're gonna be her biggest fan.
I know, and I needed her to come back more because we brought too much home.
Oh no, it's okay. You can keep it. You're just keep it all there. Just put it out at Kansas Rocks. I'm sure somebody will eat it. So, for those who don't know you, please tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
So, I'm Robin Killion. I am one of the original board of directors that opened Kansas Rocks Recreation Park. In fact, it was my husband that decided about 23 years ago, that he wanted to open a park. So I've been along for the ride. I've sat in the background for a long time, just helping, behind the scene. And we're excited to be able to give back to the community. And we are excited about all the support we've had that's helped grow the park over the last over 19 years now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So to start off with, we've got Skip saying good evening. Hey, Skip.
Hey, Skip.
And then my husband is saying, LOL, somehow not surprised. I'm not sure if he's talking about Emma with the wheel. Probably Emma with the wheel. That she was your number one visitor. Yeah, not surprised at all. So where is Kansas Rocks located? Because like I told you at Moore, I didn't even know that there was a park in Kansas.
Yeah. So Kansas Rocks Recreation Park is located 75 miles south of Kansas City. We are down by Fort Scott. Or Pittsburgh. A lot of people know the Pitt State Gorillas, so we're down by there. So yeah, it's a really easy commute from Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas. We have a lot of people from Nebraska and Iowa that come and visit, even Texas, really all over.
I feel like such a slacker being from Tulsa and not even knowing that there was one there. So I apologize. I didn't know. But I can't wait to come check it out. I know Katie and Lisa were on last week and we were talking about it. They told me I need to come out. I want to play with Katie's rock crawler. I just don't want to flip it like what she did. So well, I'll let Katie drive it for a little while and see what kind of trouble she gets me into. Tracy's joined us. She's saying, hey, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
So you said that your husband got the idea to start this and that you were sitting in the background. When did you start becoming more active with it?
So when he first started talking about it, he started researching it for about 2 years. He researched just different aspects of how to open up a park. There was no parks out there for us to compare to.
Right.
So he just started researching it everywhere, everything from looking for land to insurance to grants. And, it's really obviously very expensive to do something like this. So he started researching the different grants that are out there and he started finding grants that were available. So at that point, he started working with the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. It's now KDWP&T. he started working with them and found out there was a grant out there. It was through it's an RTP grant, Recreational Trails Program grant.
Okay.
And it's an 80-20 grant. So what that means is they would reimburse 80% and we match 20%, which is a really good deal.
Right.
When we're looking at what's involved in opening a park. So once he determined that, of course, we had lots of pillow talk and lots of conversation over dinner and, just back and forth and how to do this. And then he started looking for land. And that's when I really started getting really involved with him on this.
Mm-hmm.
This was a dream of his. And the reason that he wanted to do this and I wanted to support him and to help do this is because we were seeing a lot of public lands getting closed and there wasn't a lot of places close to us in Kansas City to go, trail riding or rock crawling. And so that was kind of the movement behind this, the inspiration. And then, it just went from there. He found out about the grant. We started looking at land, looked at well over 100 pieces of property before we found one, bought it. It was only 120 acres. We never could get it passed through. It was a zoned county. We couldn't get it passed through the county. So we went to the neighboring county and they embraced us. We found property there and it was 220 acres is where we started. We have since expanded to 380 acres. And the county has been amazing to us. The town has embraced us, Fort Scott, which is the closest town. They support us. The county, the state has been amazing. KDWP at the state level. But the grant is funded through the highway tax money. So through the federal government. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where the money comes from for a lot of the enhancements that we do. But again, it's 80-20. So we still have to come up with 20% on any grants that we receive. And that can be way of money. It can be way of donations or even donated labor. So we have a lot of support from people in the sport that come down and donate time when we get like new property to help us cut trails. And so it's just been such a positive experience. And we have always said this is the people's park and we want everyone to be involved and we want them to take ownership and pride in it. And that's exactly what we get from all the area clubs. And when we started this, there was only one club in Kansas City. And that was the Kansas City Four-Wheel Drive Association, which my husband started over 30 years ago. And since then, we have grown to, there's probably a dozen parks around or a dozen clubs around the Kansas City area, and they all support the park. So it's huge and it's fantastic.
I love it. My husband's saying, that's awesome. Never thought about the actual process that you go through when opening up a park. So I think it's fantastic. And Tracy just popped up and said, how many miles of trails did you start with?
So when we started the park with just 220 acres, which was still a lot of property, at that time we probably had maybe 20 miles of trails. And now we're up to over 35 miles of trails and we have 176 trails on the property. Now, some are short, they're just uphill connecting to another trail, but yeah, it's a good 2 days to hit every trail in the park.
And so you gave me a map at Moore and I was studying it going, okay, I want to go try this one and I want to go try this one. And Jared's popping up saying, it's an amazing park to Will. I definitely plan on trying to take a weekend to come up there and play. Do you offer camping on site too, or?
We do. So we open Friday afternoons at 1:00.
Okay.
And we open for camping on Fridays. We have primitive camping for, people that bring in their own tents or whatever. No generators in that part of the park. We have 22 sites for tent camping. And we have 24. And then we have 22 RV sites that have electrical hookups, 30 amp and 50 amp. We don't have any water hookups there, but we do have a shower house. And then, of course, we have bathrooms. A great playground that's getting ready to, for the kids, that's getting ready to get a complete workover. We actually got a grant from the local county that we're in, and we are improving our playground. They gave us a $10,000 check to upgrade our kids' playground. So we're matching that. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, we just got it ordered this week. So we're super excited about that.
Okay, well, let me know when that's in place, and then I'll come out and just have to test it for you.
Exactly.
And you'll be all set. There, you can use that for video footage of me like a crazy person. Shocker that my kid runs around. Jared's saying the staff is super knowledgeable in case something happens to your rig while on the trails. Jared, are you speaking from experience about something happening to your rig? Robin, has he done something to his rig?
You know, I won't speak for that, but maybe he has. But I'm glad to know that all of the staff has been super helpful. We have a team of 28 staff members that help us run that park. And many of these people have been with us for years. They volunteer their time. They're not just down there working the office, but they're doing things back home during the week. And they're prepping for 101 classes that we have. They're ordering supplies. They're down there working on the trails. They're helping people that get stuck out on the trails. We wouldn't be where we are today if it weren't for them.
No, I love it. That's always a concern when you just jump right into a park and you think, okay, I can go, I've been doing this for a while, I can go hit the hardest trail, and then you run into something that you're just not expecting, and then you're stuck. Like I told Katie and Lisa last week, every time I go to a new park, I always start on the green or the easiest trails, kind of get a feel for, the terrain, what I'm going to be in for, and then progress from there. Mainly because my kids are in the back seat and freak out if there's anything major. Jeff's now saying that we're going to meet Jared, Katie, and Lisa. So it's going to be a huge group that's going to go wheeling down there.
Let's do it.
I love it. There you go. Jared says they helped with an issue on Kayla's Jeep with the sway bar connection point that got slightly tweaked, and we couldn't get it connected back up. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, we have, we have all different levels of trails. We have our main loop trail that people can actually start on. And then we have the green trails, the blue trails, and the black trails. And, it really depends on the weather too. Kansas has this really sticky mud that when it's wet, all our trails tend to go up. So the green trails become blues become blacks, and then some blacks are just impassable depending on your rig. So we are right there to help anyone that gets in trouble. We want everyone to stay safe. We very much promote a family atmosphere. We don't allow drinking down on the trails. If someone wants to have a drink in the campground after the trails are closed, that's fine, as long as, obviously they maintain a safe atmosphere. But on the trails, we are very strict about that, to the point that we actually check coolers when people come in. We just want it to stay safe. And we just don't believe in the drinking on the trail, especially when we, have our families there. So.
Yeah, but people already do some shady stuff already on the trails. Let's not make it worse by drinking.
Girl, who needs liquid courage, right?
Right, exactly. That's right. And Kara just pointed out the fact that she can't wait for Sunflower. So that was like my next topic. So thanks, girl, for bringing it up. Sunflower Trail event's coming up soon. When is that event again?
Okay, so the Sunflower event is going to be June 25th. It's on a Saturday. It's actually put on by Kansas City's largest off-road club, the Midwest Crawlers. I say they put it on. Amber Miller is part of that group. And let me tell you what, this was a vision she had, and she brought it to life. She wanted to have an event that was really dedicated to women that were, new to the sport or
Mhm.
seasoned wheelers. It didn't matter. She just wanted women to be able to get together and to learn how to do things like, put it in 4-wheel drive, how to air down, how to, just all of that. And it's just been huge. It's been successful. This year she has Karina Resch, who's going to shadow her and will be taking over that event. But it's been, and it's not just for women. We have a lot of guys that come as well. They're absolutely welcome, and they can wear sunflower t-shirts and yoga pants if they want. I've seen it, believe it or not, in there. So it's just a great event for women to get out on the trail and feel comfortable.
I love it. And Jared's saying, the 2020, it's an amazing event that happens at Kansas Rocks, and it's promoting women wheeling. Then he chimes in that there's tons of giveaways. Of course, you got to have the giveaways.
Of course.
And then my husband's piping in that he'll come, he'll wear a wig. I don't know where he's getting the wig from. I'm a little scared. Oh, I'm terrified. I mean,
his own rig.
I've seen Chris came on the show, Chris and Chad right before more, and Chris did put on a wig for a little while at the very beginning. That was funny. That was perfect.
He's awesome.
Misty's joined us. Hey, Misty.
Hey, Misty.
Oh, Jeff's saying he's going to borrow Chris's wig. Perfect.
There you go.
Jeff, go ahead and message him now because we're going up on June 25th for this event. You can count me in. I'm really excited about it. So again, this is just something that I didn't even know about. I've only been in the overlanding community really since 2020. My Forerunner went from stock to not so stock very quickly. And about 6 months after the beginning of 2020. And she just continues to get more stuff on her.
Talk about badass. That thing is awesome. I love her.
Thank you. I appreciate it. She's been a fun build, but at some point you think the build's going to stop, and I have yet to see that happen.
Right. Exactly. It never does it?
No. So what kind of vehicle? So on your photo that you sent me, you're driving a Jeep. Is that your primary vehicle? Is that your wheel vehicle?
So that's my JK. It's a 2010. That's the one that I was my daily driver. We also have a Land Cruiser, which it's a 77 Land Cruiser, and it's big. It's massive. It's on 43s. It's got the Atlas transfer case. It's actually being rebuilt right now. David's tore it down. He's going to lower it. He's going to dovetail the back, but it's our big toy.
Right.
My JK, I think I told the story at Moore at the round table. I had taken it out on the trail with a friend, and this was not very long after I got it. We were down at Kansas Rocks, and I told my husband I'm going to go out with this friend of mine. So her and I go out. We had her 70-some-year-old mom in the back seat. And he told me before I left the office, he goes, whatever you do, don't go on the trail named Slanted. And I'm like, okay. So what do we do?
You went on it.
Went straight to that trail. And I'm like, yeah, watch this. So, and I was looking at it going, well, it didn't look that bad, but it's named Slanted for a reason. It's very off camber. It was in the fall. The leaves are down. It's wet. It's slick. It was bad. So I get on the trail and I just kept sliding and sliding and sliding. And my Jeep was completely stock, street tires, everything. I had 4-wheel drive. That's all I had going for me. And so I got between two trees, and I'm literally like this. And I'm like, this is not good. So I had to do that walk of shame. Got back up to the office, and he said, where are you at? And he looked at me and he goes, never mind, I already know. Well, yeah. So he had to go pull me out. We got home that night, and I ordered a bumper, and I got a winch. I said, that's it.
Yep.
So, but I did just upgrade. David actually took my Jeep out. We had, we were down there on a Monday. He took my Jeep out, and he broke the front axle. So
Oh, no.
and it was just stock. But the good thing is that I was able to upgrade to a Dana 44, and I was able to get lower gears, and I was able to get lockers, and now I'm getting new tires. So that's my new Jeep.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, it sucks that, he broke something, but it's awesome that you're getting all new parts because he broke it.
I know. So I went to pick it out a couple weekends ago, and wow, what a difference. And and Misty's right, it never stops.
Never stops.
It never stops. It's always something, right? Which is exciting. But my Jeep was to the point I was kind of bored with it. So I was really excited that something broke, and was really excited when my husband replaced the axle. And then we took it to 4x4 Land up in Topeka, which is my go-to, and they're awesome, and they did all the work on it, and now I love it.
That's great.
Love it again.
Your husband's chiming in. He said it was all part of his evil plan.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, and like Misty, she's saying it never stops. She just got her 5th gen 4Runner, so now I get to corrupt her and teach her some of my evil ways about modifying a 4Runner.
What was your first big mod that you were just like so excited about?
My lift and tires. So a lot of people who have been following me, they know my original story is I went out with Express Rally out of Arkansas to one of their adventure series. I think it was 3, and my first major mods were lights. I went with lights because I didn't know what I wanted to do with the 4Runner yet, but I didn't want it to look like every other soccer mom vehicle on the road. So I was like, this will at least make it look different. So I started there. Not the best way to start modifying a vehicle, by the way. But
it's gonna look good.
It's got to look good, right? But so I went to the Express Rally, had a great time on day 1 because their first day is you travel, off-road city roads, and you're bouncing back and forth. And we went from Bentonville to Branson that first day. Stayed the night, hotel, everybody got dinner. Next morning we met back up and we went to this park just outside of Branson. And here I am, street tires, stock 4Runner. These people are airing down. I'm going, what? Why? Why are they taking air out of their tires? I was brand new. Didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, surely you don't have to do that. And my husband's telling me, we really should air down. I'm like, we don't have a way to air back up. We don't have an air compressor, nothing. So we went for it. Regular PSI. And I got stuck. I got stuck on a slicked mud rock. We went through this mud puddle. Everyone's climbing. There was a Land Rover a few cars ahead of me. And when he got stuck, I looked at my husband and I was like, I'm going to get stuck. He's like, no, you sit higher than him. You'll be fine. Sure enough, I got stuck. And here I am trying to bounce off of it. I've got too many spotters telling me what to do. I get overwhelmed. My kids are overwhelmed. I was like, I'm not doing this again. This sucks. This is awful. Ended up enjoying it, but I found out like a few weeks later that my tires were all cut up and I had cracks, and I had basically just decimated my street tires without realizing it because I didn't air down. I was on trails I shouldn't have been on, just following the crowd, not knowing any better, and learned a lot. So my first big exciting mod was my lift and tires. Plus, as you and I are both short, I got to be tall. Being in a lifted 4Runner, you're like, yes, yeah, I get to be taller than other people. So
that's awesome.
Yes. Jared's saying just empty every pocket. Yes, pretty much. You just empty every pocket into your vehicle, but it's such a fun, exciting hobby.
I love it, and I love the people in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
It is just, we have friends that we call family because everyone's just so close. And it's like Jared said earlier, everybody's there to help everybody. And we've met some amazing people. and we just, like I said, we call them family.
Right. No,
Just
I
like
love it.
You guys have more. I mean, I knew your daughter. I was like, oh my God, she's awesome. And then I met Mom. I'm like, oh wait.
Yeah, there's no denying that that's my child. If you meet her first and then you see me, you're like, oh yeah, I can see it. That's you. That's a miniature you right there. I'm sorry, but
she was awesome.
she's good like that. Does not know a stranger. But what got you started in this? I mean, I know your husband was doing it, but what made you get out there and decide I'm going for it?
So when I met David, I actually met him at a 4-wheel drive meeting at the Kansas City 4-wheel Drive Association meeting. And then we got hooked up and we ended up opening this park. And we both love the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
We both enjoy the sport, and we wanted to give back, and we wanted a place that was close to Kansas City that we could go to and that we could share with others. And again, it was his vision. It was his drive that got us there. And then together we fed off of each other. And then as we brought people into, early on, David and I decided we did not want to have every weekend tied up at the park.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we didn't want to do it, but we also had a child and,
right.
we had other obligations. So that's when he said, you know what, let's form this board of directors. Let's get other people involved. And I was there from the beginning. There's still 3 people that are still involved in this, that were there at the very first meeting we had. And the 3 people that are still involved were 3 of us that were up more. 3
That's
of the
awesome.
4 of us. So Phil Ruff was the other one. And once you start into this sport, there's no stopping, right?
No.
So
you literally just kind of fall down a rabbit hole and you're just going. But it's so much fun. It's so empowering.
It is. And it's fun to see other people enjoy it. And it's fun to see people get their kids involved and teaching their kids how to be responsible out, in keeping our trails clean. And, it's just so important. And that's what keeps land open for us to be able to use, be it, for this sport or hiking or mountain biking or, whatever. So when we were, with our club, when we would go out on trail rides, we would give the kids all these old potato sacks. And we would say, if you bring trash back in them, we will trade you out for $1. And, this was 20 some years ago. That was a lot of money to a kid.
Right.
And so that's how we would teach kids to be responsible and clean up the land. So
I love it. I still take, when my kids and I go camping, when we all go camping as a family, we definitely teach the kids, look out for trash. It doesn't matter if we're at a state park or primitive camping. If there's trash, we're picking it up and we're taking it out with us. But it's a good habit to teach them. Lisa says she loves you guys for all your dedication to the park and the sport. My husband's saying it's awesome that you're teaching the kids early. Bribing is always the best way to go with kids.
Girl. For sure. Yeah, we have this adopted trail program at the park where all the area clubs adopt different sections of the park. They put up their signage. They come in twice a year. And the first half of the day until noon, they are cleaning up their trails, doing trimming. If there's down trees, they're taking care of that. And again, picking up any trash. And then the rest of the day, they go out as a club and they wheel together.
That's awesome.
It is great because you know what? There's no way that our 28 or 30 park managers could maintain the park by ourselves. So, and that's again, part of that allowing them to have ownership in the park, and it's the people's park. So it's great. It's awesome.
I like it. I might have to talk to you about that, owning part of the trail, or
yeah.
We have a local group here in Oklahoma that my husband and I are the admins for on the page, Wander Oklahoma. And we try and do meets once a month, but in different parts of Oklahoma to embrace different other people, because not everyone wants to come to Tulsa. So we could definitely see about maybe taking an event up there, and it'd be fun.
We would love to have you guys part of that. It's, again, you get to put up your signage, and that, that this is your area that you've adopted, and we have some clubs that they'll say, you know what, there's an area over here that we need to close trails off for, to let the trails heal. And, but we have this other area that we would like to build a new trail or whatever. And we're just totally receptive to that, because again, this is all of our, parks. So.
Right. Bill's joined us. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Bill likes to give me a hard time. He's a Jeeper who enjoys tormenting me about my 4Runner. Love him to pieces, though. As long as he's not wiping his Jeep butt on my bumper like he did last year.
Oh, that sounds like a story.
I was doing a Back the Blue for our first responders car show, and he stopped by to visit, showing his support for the event. And he was sitting on my back bumper, and it was so funny because he's like, Ashley, I'm putting my Jeep butt on your bumper, and then proceeds to like wiggle and goes over my entire rear bumper. He's like, oh yeah, just got Jeep Mojo or something on it. And then when I ended up winning for the women's class, he tells me it's because he wiped his Jeep butt.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's all because of the Jeeps.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, we're definitely a divided family here. So we have, and I say divided, we're not really divided. We promote both. In fact, we even have a side-by-side that's a Wildcat. So our hearts,
I love it all.
Forever. Exactly. That's how we are. We love them all. So
yes, I love them all. I'm not gonna lie. I'm envious that Jeeps can take their tops off, and I just have to roll around with all the windows down and the back glass down.
Yeah,
but I just pretend. It makes me happy. My hair moves around. I get all the air.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I don't get all the sunburns, which is a benefit because I burn easy.
True. Yeah, that's in the summertime when I take the top down and have my doors off. My left foot, my left leg is way more tan than my right leg and my right foot. So
that's when you apply the self tanner on that side to like.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it looks goofy, but what do you do?
Right? No, yeah, just apply the self tanner on that one leg and just see if you can't even it out.
That's good idea. Good idea.
See, there you go. So
some tricks.
See, there you go. So I've heard you have interesting names to your trails out there.
We do. When we first started naming the trails, we had a lady on our board of directors that had the most creative mind ever. And she sat down and she started naming all of them. And there are some really, really good ones out there. And then when we grew and we added the additional property, the 160 acres, which was about 10 years ago now, probably. When we did that, we sat down as a group. We sat in our pavilion down at the park, and we just started brainstorming, and we came up with all kinds of crazy names. Some of them have meaning. Some of them are just what works. And all of our board of directors that have ever been with us have a trail named down there, unless they're newer board members, and we haven't developed any newer trails, but they all have their own trail that's named after them. So yeah,
I love it. That's fantastic.
We have like I think there's one called Rattlesnake Alley or something, and it lives up to its name. There's rattlesnakes over there.
Okay, remind me to stay away from that one. I'm terrified of snakes.
I know, girl. We got it too. We got some snakes on that property, so but they stay away from us.
You say that until I come visit, and then I'll have the one that comes and finds me.
I know. Yeah, we've seen our share of rattlesnakes and copperheads down there. So.
Yeah, I'm not hiking. I'm not hiking to any of it. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna stay in the Forerunner.
I was out hunting mushrooms a few years ago, morels, in the spring, and I didn't have hiking boots on. I had on like, I don't even remember, not the right shoes to be doing what I was doing. I don't like jeans that were rolled up, capris. I went and I was just going down the trail and I stepped off the trail to go into the woods and I hear and I looked down and on this big flat rock laying in the sun was a rattlesnake all coiled up. So what did I do? I jumped, all the wrong things to do. I jumped and I wasn't that far from the office. I went back to the office to get my phone so I could go back and take a picture of it. And I got back down there and the snake wasn't there. And I had no idea which way that snake went. I'm like, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm not mushroom hunting today. And I didn't go back.
See, I think I probably would have just crawled up in the fetal position or just taken off running and just been like, I'm done. Forget the phone, forget any of it.
Exactly. Instead of doing that, I'm like, no, I'm going to go back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that wasn't, he wasn't there. So
it's because you wanted that proof that you weren't crazy.
I know.
That
who does that? Who goes in the woods dressed like I was dressed with no phone? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get any mushrooms that day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So do you guys do a lot of camping outside of your park?
So David and I, as hard as we try, we sneak away a few times a year. We do like to go to Colorado. We love to go to Moab when we have that opportunity. We frequent down to S'more, down to Brandon's place. Brandon's park, S'more is like a sister park to us. So Brandon opened his park up just a couple years after we opened Kansas Rocks. So we bounce a lot of ideas off each other. He is a huge supporter of our park, and we are a huge supporter of his. In fact, the more parks that we can get out there, the better off for all of us. So anybody that wants to open a park, David's talked to probably 20 different people over the years about what to do, people that are interested in opening a park. So we do try to sneak away. We love to go down to Brandon's. We don't do a lot of camping like we used to when we were younger. David has a lot of back problems, so sleeping on the ground a little bit tougher for him. Last summer, we went down to Kansas Rocks. The entire board was going to come down and go camping. It started raining Friday night, so I set my tent up in the pavilion, which we don't allow, but the park was closed. I set it up in the pavilion where it was going to be nice and dry, and that was the last time I've slept in that tent. So,
wow!
But it was great.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but Katie had her tent set up outside in the rain that entire weekend and never got wet. So, and it rained the whole weekend.
Oh my goodness! So are you going to be at Bonfire this weekend?
I am not.
Okay.
We have a commitment this weekend, so I wish I was.
I think they're calling for rain all weekend too. So, and Arkansas's mud, very similar to Oklahoma and Kansas mud, it gets thick and slick very easily with just a little bit of water.
Yeah.
So this will be fun. It'll be a very messy Forerunner when we come back. So is there any good camping spots that you know of in Kansas? Because I'm learning more about Kansas now talking to you with finding out about Kansas Rocks.
So 2 areas, obviously Kansas Rocks is the best place to go camping. Another place that has some trails is up by Manhattan. It's called Tuttle. And they have campgrounds up there. I personally have never stayed in those campgrounds, but I hear it's a great place. There's another, I don't know about trails, but I know a lot of people go out to Wilson Lake, which is further out west. I know a lot of people go out there camping. I know there's hiking trails out there and mountain bicycle trails. I don't believe there's any overlanding or Jeep, rock crawling trails. I know it's not out there. But for just camping, that's a great place to go. I've seen some amazing pictures.
That's awesome.
Lake. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to add that to my list because I haven't really done a whole lot in Kansas, just thinking typically Kansas is just flat, very much like Oklahoma. So there wouldn't be too much to do.
A lot of people think that. And, when you do get out in Western Kansas, out in the Flint Hills, which are amazing. I mean, they're beautiful. But a lot of people think all of Kansas is like that. So I know when we found our property, we were so fortunate it has over a 200-foot elevation on the property. So it's just incredible. There's parts of it that remind you of the Ozarks, some parts of it that remind you of like Colorado with the cedar trees. And, but yeah, there's some beautiful areas in Kansas to explore.
I'm going to have to come out there. I'm going to arrange a time with you and Katie and Lisa and apparently Jared and Kayla to come out there. Jennifer's finally joined us. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
So do you have any other events besides Sunflower coming up at Kansas Rocks?
We do. We have an event in October, which is a huge event called Creepy Crawl. It's always the third Saturday in October.
Okay.
It's a big family event. What it is during the day, we have trail riding. We usually have a rock climbing wall that the kids can enjoy. We've had an exotic petting zoo come out before that. And when I say exotic animals, they have like a camel, a Z-donk, monkeys, really unique animals. And the lady that owns that zoo is just amazing. But then in the afternoon, we have a costume showcase for the kids. So they all dress up, they get ready for a trunk or treat. All of the rigs line up and they're handing out candy to all the kids. We have a costume contest for adults. So the kids is a showcase. So they all get like a trunk or treat bag with a treat in it. But the adults is a contest and the winner gets an annual pass. We also have a group costume contest where they can get an annual pass and a decorated rig contest. So you decorate your rig and the winner gets a pass. And then that evening we have a catered dinner. And that evening we have 40 acres that we turn into a haunted trail. So we spend about a week getting that ready. And we have about 60 to 65 people positioned out on that trail. They have skits set up. They cannot touch you, but they can touch your rig. So they might shake your rig. But I know, me too. I hate haunted houses. I'm terrified of them, but this is so much fun. The first hour is non-scary. So people can go through with their kids and there's about 6 places along the way where they're going to give your children, a treat or a prize or, something. And then after that,
then I'm out. I don't like being scared. No.
I know. I know that haunted trail like the back of my hand. I know exactly what everybody's going to be doing on it before it happens. I rode through it for the first time in 18 years. I rode through it a couple years ago. I screamed the whole way through it. And I knew exactly what they were going to be doing. It's
horrible because I would be so concerned about your actors and me running them over because I would panic and hit them, jerk the steering wheel. I grew up on a military base and my parents dragged us to a haunted house put on by the soldiers. Well, they're vicious. You love them, but I love everything that they do, but they're horrible to the kids at haunted house because that's when they get all their excitement. And you know how like you hear about people chasing you with the chainsaw and they chase you like a few feet? No. These guys would chase you to the exit. Yeah. It was horrifying. So I don't do haunted houses. Yeah, I'm not getting on that one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't do haunted houses. I'm terrified of them. I'm the one in the corner, like get me out of here.
Right.
But working on that trail is the funnest thing ever because you see the people coming, but they don't see you.
Yeah, no. I'll be fine. Like, I'll help you scare people.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be in the car.
And then we always have clowns on that haunted trail. And I
Oh.
can't tell you how many people are you afraid of clowns?
I hate clowns.
Oh my gosh. People are terrified of them. Guys, like these big burly guys come through and they're like, no, not clowns. Please, not clowns. Yeah.
There is something unnatural about a clown. I don't know what it is, but they got the big creepy faces, the smiley face, and no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, we have clowns, and it's really cool. It really is a lot of fun for families. And like I said, the first hour of the haunted trail is non-scary, so you can drive through, and it's a beautiful trail, and the kids enjoy it, and then a lot of people come back through a second time, that want to see it after it gets dark. So it's fun. And then in December, we have a Wheelin' for Toys where we donate all the toys to the local Rotary Club. And they really depend on us to help support the families that are in need in the local community down there. So we bring in usually a box truck full of toys is what's collected that we donate back to them.
That's awesome. So Donald's asking, do you guys do an adult trunk or treat with little bottles of liquor? Maybe after all the trail riding, they can do that because there's no liquor allowed on the trails.
No liquor allowed on the trail, but I will tell you, last year I was walking through the trunk or treat, and a guy said, "Come here, I've got something to give you." And I was handed one of those little bottles that was like in a Halloween bag. It was so cute, and I did save it for later that night. So.
There you go. So Jennifer, her and her husband, they are actors at a haunted house here. I think it's in Nowata. And she's been trying to convince me to go. It's not happening. I've seen them dressed up in their costumes. There's no way in hell you're ever going to get me anywhere even near them when they're dressed up, and they're not even working. So she's saying that Sean will scare me. Sean scared my daughter at Bonfire. He's got a really loud Xterra, and she and I were walking past it, and he revved the engine. That poor child jumped probably 10 feet in the air. So yeah, no, I'm good. I don't like to be scared. My husband, Joker with the. Have you seen the Batman where Heath Ledger was the Joker?
Yeah.
Okay, the creepy smile that I was talking about with clowns. Yeah, that's Donald's chiming in with are you going to make a pencil disappear? Y'all are a disaster. This is what I live with, people. Yay!
Exactly. So yeah, that's a really fun event. And then the Wheelin' for Toys, our biggest event we have every year is the last Saturday of February. We only close 3 weeks a year, and that's the first 3 weeks of February. Okay. Historically, the weather's been really bad in Kansas during that time, and we always would just give our park managers a break. And we are getting ready for our largest event, which is the last Saturday of February, and it's called the Frostbite Event. And we will usually see anywhere from 400 to 475 rigs at that event. This year we had over 900 people. We've had upwards of 1,000 people at that event before. So much fun. We have a huge raffle. All of our sponsors send product. And we just have such a beautiful large raffle where we're giving away everything you can imagine that you would need in the sport. So that's a fun event. But the weather, you never know. It's snowy or freezing cold or 60 degrees in Kansas. So
no, I can say that it's Oklahoma too. You can always guarantee you're going to get at least one more good snow in March.
Right.
And then you might be good for the rest of the year. And, apparently my husband's trying to count us in for next year. I'm not sure. I'm guessing he's talking about that one in February. I don't really care at the cold camp, but we did get a diesel heater, so maybe it'll be better. We'll see. But I do like the Christmas one.
Yeah, that's such, it's just an opportunity to give back and give to the kids. You want everybody to enjoy all the kids to have a special Christmas. And didn't you just put your rooftop on this last weekend? Did I see that?
No, my rooftop got moved off the 4Runner onto a trailer that we're building.
Okay.
So I was so glad that it came off the 4Runner because now I got my sunroof back. I didn't have it for over a year with that the tent on top.
Yeah.
So I've got a Zargus box up there, which holds all my recovery gear. We're in the process of setting up a solar system, secondary battery to all of that. And I think and I've got an awning on it right now, but we'll see. We'll see what else ends up there. So your husband is saying you sound like Forrest Gump. I don't know if he's talking about you or me and why.
Who knows?
You married him.
I know, right?
You're supposed to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, no. I'm still learning him. It's, only been over 20 years.
It's fantastic. Okay, so Christmas one I'm definitely coming to. The Halloween one I'm interested in until it gets dark. Then I'm out. I'll hang out around the bonfire or something. I'm not going in the trails. And I'm going to be at Sunflower. So I already plan on doing that.
That's awesome. The Sunflower event, you're going to love that. I am not going to be there this year. We're actually leaving for Alaska that week. My husband's from Alaska, so we like to go back there every couple of years. So I'm going to unfortunately miss it this year, but I can assure you, you are going to have a blast. You're going to love it there.
Well, I'd rather be in Alaska than Sunflower.
I know. I know. Alaska is just breathtaking. We love it up there, but
that's amazing. So your husband's saying Frostbite is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. I get it now. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks for the rest of the story there, David.
I thought he was talking about we sounded slow.
I did too. I had no idea. That's why I was like, just wait till we get off here.
Right? Don't insult us to our faces.
Exactly. Kick him off of here. But yeah, and we're still going to plan that get together for all of us girls for another trip.
Okay.
Here, and we'll do a camp out and stuff. Since I'm not going to be there for Sunflower, I'm super sad, but we'll do another get together.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe in the fall, because it's so beautiful in the fall. I love fall time. I
like the colors.
Yeah.
You said not camp?
I said I'll camp.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I thought you said not camp. I was like, oh no, you have to camp this time.
No, you kidding? No. Yeah, absolutely. We'll camp.
How do we set up like an anti-snake perimeter though?
We'll do that. Well,
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you will.
They're way down in the rocks. They wouldn't be up at the campground. So
okay.
I will say I've never seen one up around our campground ever. And
good.
They're not going to be there with the people. But if Katie bring her dogs, they'll definitely stay away if there's dogs around.
Katie, if you're listening, you've been thrown under the bus. You have to bring your dogs.
Exactly. Bring Fenrir. That's her dog. One of her dogs' names, Fenrir.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've had an absolute blast with you tonight. I've learned so much about your park, and I can't wait to come up there and explore. I've looked at that map. I can't tell you how many times I need to go up there. Of course, after more, I think it takes like 2 weeks to get back into any sort of routine.
That was so much fun, wasn't it?
Yes.
Chris has done such a great job with that trade show. I love it. I met so many great people. We were like making plans for what we're going to do in the booth next year. So
no more spinny wheel and Hershey Kisses.
I know. We're going to do something even bigger and way cooler next year, and I can't wait.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't. He's done a fantastic job. I have an absolute blast every year that I've been, and I just like getting to catch up with people that I don't see that often and meet new people like yourself. And, Katie and Lisa, I met them at more. So.
Yeah. And the round table was hands down just one of the best parts of the show. That was great.
Thank you. We had, I know, Arla, Misty, Kara, Cindy, and I, we had an absolute blast doing it. We've got plans to do some more here soon. We're talking Big Iron, I think. Girls, if I'm throwing that out there and I'm wrong, sorry. But yeah, we'll see what other kind of shenanigans the 5 of us can create.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything you need from us up this way, just let us know. We're happy to support you guys.
We'll definitely we'll be reaching out.
All
well,
right.
Thank you so much, Robin. I've had a blast. Tell everybody again, how to find you on social medias, where to follow the park, and locate all those events that we talked about.
Yeah, so look us up on KS Rocks Park on Facebook. We have a brand new website that was just released. We're still working on it. We're updating our sponsors on there, but follow us on there. We are super excited to share the park with everyone. So come out and hang out with us some weekend.
Well, definitely count me in. Apparently my husband's coming in a wig for Sunflower, but we'll definitely be up there before then too.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.